Welcome to The Open Queue, a podcast where we talk about entertainment, pop culture, and the daily life of navigating the entertainment industry as a creative. I'm your host, Shaka Omari, and I'm joined by my business partner, Charles Malone. We'll sometimes have other creative guests on to tell us about their journey in the industry, dealing with their ups and downs, struggles, and successes. We'll also touch on current changes to the business of television and film, as well as cue up what we're watching, listening to, or a piece of art we've been inspired by. The music you're listening to is called Dawn, from the movie The Smashing Machine, composed by Nara Sinefro. And now, let's get queued up. And welcome back
to the Open Queue.
The queue is open. So today we have a theme that we're going to talk about, Game Time, the best of sports movies and TV. So we're going to discuss the MMA, a movie that just recently came out with The Rock, a show that I think we both love, Chad Powers, and what's the greatest sports movie or film in our personal opinion, or what we like the most.
Yeah, it's hard. I don't want to say the greatest. I feel like Rocky people will come out of nowhere. I feel like a lot of top lists. List some of our favorites.
Okay, that's fair.
Maybe a little like guessing, theorizing on Ted Lasso season 4.
Oh yeah. Speaking of which, Arsenal's playing today, so go Arsenal, Gunner for life. So with that, I think let's start with like the usual question. Anything you've been inspired by recently?
Yeah, it's really silly, but it's always inspiring to get to experience things through the eyes of like a child and a kid. And for once, it's not like my kid, but I was helping my younger cousin. He's 10, and he has a Halloween film project he has to make for school. I guess it's a little contest. The winner gets like $25 gift card. But I helped him pretty much like shoot this thing with like his vision of it. And it's so fun because it's like they're just getting into filmmaking for the first time, and you forget how like, imaginative and silly and over dramatic the whole thing is. But it's a lot of fun. And to see, I think one of my favorite things about this was how early that they just assume you can fix it in post.
Oh yeah, just fix it in post.
Yeah, it just I was like, okay, what's your idea for the ending? And he was like, it ends with, he opens his eyes wide and he opens his mouth and like a blue light shoots out of his mouth. And I was like, okay, and how are we going to do that? He's like, oh, we'll just do it when we edit in iMovie. And I was like, does iMovie have that effect? It's like, I don't know, but when we edit it, we'll just make a blue light come out of his mouth. And I was like, yeah, we'll just do it in post. Okay, we'll just add, sure.
See, that's where like the business side and the fun part collide. To your point, I think like the creative, just playing around and having fun is a thing that we love about it. But then when it's like, oh, we actually have to have a finished product, fix it in post, that doesn't work that way.
I mean, he's not, well, you can add a light coming out of his mouth, but I know that the thing he's going to edit on doesn't have any of these things, but we'll figure out a way.
That's awesome. That's really, really cool. I think it's, that actually inspires me because it's like, it reminds me of why I got into this. There was no money, there was no marketing, there was no any of that. It was just, I enjoy playing, it's just fun to come up with stuff.
Yeah, kids just have a very, they don't know the rules. Sometimes like when you don't know the rules, it allows you to be more creative because you don't stop yourself. You're like, we're just going to do this, right? So it was really inspiring. It was very fun.
Yeah, that's a bar. Sometimes when you don't know the rules. It's funny. Speaking of that, I think that kind of leads into what inspired me. This week, I watched the Jaws documentary, the 50th anniversary documentary. Steven Spielberg's talking about how they were filming Jaws and they decided to film it practical on the ocean, and that they hadn't realized that it's not as easy as filming on land because you've got to move the boats in certain places and things like that. Because he was like, I think 27 or so when he shot this, and this was back in the 70s where, they didn't do a lot of those kind of things. So for him, even though he wanted to shoot it on there, he didn't fully realize how difficult it was to shoot on water.
I know you probably see my face.
Yeah, I do.
Because you tried to justify, I think, his 27 being youthful and young and not knowing water physics.
I don't think it's not knowing water physics. I think it's back in the 70s. Back in the 70s, you don't think about like the fact that you have
water
to have
moves.
No, not that water moves. That setting up and tearing down on a boat doesn't function as easy as you think. So, on like land, that you can set up here. But with a boat, then you've got to move the boat. You've got to transition it over here. You've got to do all those other things. And so when you're in that process, I think early on, and you're just thinking, this is a great idea, you don't realize how difficult the idea is that you're jumping into. And he said it caused him an extreme amount of PTSD, which they didn't have the term for at the time, because they kept.
Did they not?
Not really, no. Because remember, like that's Vietnam is when we really started getting into that psychology of PTSD and things like that, which is like 60s, 70s. So a lot of psychology has.
Isn't that when Jaws was made after that?
It was around that time.
Okay.
Around that time. So that's why, like now for us, psychology is far further along than it was for us even in the 80s and 90s.
Oh, no, I know. You're just giving Spielberg a lot of passes.
Well, I'm giving him a lot of passes because, again, this is the 70s. Like I sometimes think, and I think we've discussed this when we talk even about our parents, like sometimes it's difficult because, and I have to remind, my sister this sometimes, you have a lot more knowledge than our parents did at a certain point in time. And while they did their best to raise us, we have access to far more information and tools. Anyways, this is getting off topic.
I'm just being really facetious here that like in the 70s or now, the information that we have hasn't changed about water moving.
No, it hasn't. But how many people have actually shot on water?
I get it.
Right.
I get it. But like, oh, I'm going to put a tripod on this boat and man, it's really hard to change the setup. Yeah, the water's moving.
Yes, Charles, that makes sense for now. But I think if you look at the context of back then, this is why we like those kind of movies, because they did a lot of things that they didn't normally do.
If you want to talk about his like zoom while like pushing in.
Oh, no, that's a Hitchcock thing that he did. You're talking about that. Yeah, he took that from Hitchcock and he placed it well in the movie. But again, there's not a lot of 27-year-olds, I think, that are given an opportunity to shoot movies at this on that level.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
And this goes back to like the SNL thing I think I talked about before, watching that movie, how it inspired me because they gave a bunch of 20-something-year-olds a TV show slot.
Well, our forefathers were probably only in like the 30s of like coming and run this country. So
right.
Old people should retire earlier.
So what I was saying in that, what inspired me really about it is that this was a difficult shoot for him. So I am giving him a pass that he didn't think this through. Whether or not water physics, he didn't think this through, which I think anyone that's been on a movie set, sometimes you have things planned and it goes crazy.
For sure, that's why, there's happy accidents sometimes. You're like, I didn't think this through and now we're here. How do we figure this out?
Which is what I love. And we're actually going to touch on that point. I want to touch on that comment later on when we talk about the Smashing Machine. But for me, what inspired me about this is that this movie ended up taking a lot longer for him to make. It drug on. He went over budget. Again, this is like a 27-year-old who had done films, prior to this. But, that kind of stress that we now know that, would get you fired. He was feeling that same kind of thing. And yet he still went through it. And it became one of like the biggest blockbusters for him. It pretty much kind of put him on the map, all of that kind of stuff. And there's something he said in there that years later, he would go on the Universal, Universal had the Jaws, whatever you call it, ride or whatever. And he would go into the boat and sometimes just sit there and cry. And it made me think, this thing that we do is frustrating. It can be emotionally draining because of the difficulty he had trying to make this film.
So we'd cry after? Never mind. I'm going to have a lot of people judging me.
Well, because you're judging, so they're going to judge you.
I just don't understand. That's what I'm saying. I don't understand.
He was crying because of the emotional effect of how it affected him. And so even though it was like his biggest success, it's still the process that he went through where he thought he was going to get fired. He would call his mom and say, I don't know if this is going to work. And the shark wouldn't work at certain point in times. Again,
he still cries now.
No, he doesn't still cry now. He was saying in the documentary at a certain point in time, he would go after the movie had success and he would have those moments because
go into the ride and just cry.
Yeah. He would remember how difficult it was for him during that time. And for me, it was just one of those inspirational things that you never know what someone's going through. A lot of people just see people's successes and think, yeah, that's easy. I could do that. But they don't realize that sometimes it takes a toll on you to get something out there. And yet that thing that you're struggling with can sometimes be the thing that helps you get to what you want to do, I guess is the best way I could put it.
Oh, for sure. That part, I understand. There's a great Gnarls Barkley song called Neighbors that I think every single person should listen to. So if you listen to this after you're done, go pause and listen to that song. Mm-hmm. So I think in the social media era, there's a lot of people who want what they see. And I think a line in the song is like, my neighbors want what they see. at the same, but they've never seen me with my scars exposed, and like you don't know what I went through to get here.
Yeah.
So it's easy for you to want this, but like, could you really walk in my shoes to get it? And like, not everyone could.
Right.
My crying thing is probably me being raised in the late 80s, 90s, toxic masculinity. Like, what are you crying for?
Hey, look, I think at least you can own it, which is why I'm saying psychology's come a long way. Because that's the way we were raised. It's like boys don't cry. Like,
like, damn, if I could cry, I wish I would just let me squeeze a tear out. No, I was judging.
Again, this was before therapy was a big thing in Hollywood. So I guess he didn't have a therapist he could go to. So he was going through his own emotional thing. But for me, again, I think it was the perseverance and the fact that, to your point, we know water physics, but as a youthful, like, I just want to get this done. I love this story, and not thinking it through and then getting faced with, oh my gosh.
I'm still going to shake my head at that one.
No, I think that that's the case. I think sometimes, I feel like you and I have been through that where we think, oh yeah, we're going to do this. And then it just feels like, oh, this is tougher than we thought.
For sure. But none of that was like me expecting something that moves to act like ground.
No, I don't. Maybe I'm misinterpreting the way I'm saying it, but I think for him, he didn't expect the difficulty of it.
Like, it would just, I think there is a lot of,
it wouldn't act right, I guess is the way I'm putting it.
The early years of filmmaking, there is just a matter of fact approach to a lot of what we do. And I noticed this like now after doing this for like almost 10 years, and I see a lot of like people either coming into LA or like new filmmakers, or the Reddit, r/filmmakers. You see a lot of like jaded filmmakers who are like, oh, my expectations weren't like met. Now I'm like disgruntled, or I'm frustrated because I thought it was just that word, just. I thought it was just going to be this. Like, I will just submit to festivals. No, I didn't get into anything. Like,
the rejection.
Oh, we're going to shoot on the boat, and we're just going to like put a camera here and it like these lights, and then we'll just do that. And it's like, nah.
Right. And that's, you bring up a point, because they do discuss how like they developed, like the cinematographer developed a box for like shooting right above the water, so you could get that kind of floating thing. And that's also the other part that was inspiring, is because during those times, I still felt like they were being creative, and maybe they still are to some extent, but they were being really creative in developing new technology to do different things, like working with water and things of that nature, which I think sometimes with let's just put everything in CG, that kind of kills a bit of the creativity. Like, I like shooting on digital, but I do know that shooting on film adds a certain level of difficulty that makes you have to get creative sometimes. And to your point, I think that's where the happy accidents like make something remarkable, where you go, hey, I want the camera to be able to be right at the surface level. Well, we can't do that. We're going to have to build a box that makes it float. So I'm going to spend time and tinker on that. Oh, great. Now that we got that shot. And then everyone goes, oh, that's an amazing shot. Yeah, because we didn't know how to do it, but we wanted to do it.
We didn't build anything, but I think a happy accident is when we did Marble, even just like we're shooting this thing just for fun. And we're like, man, it'd be cool if the devil had powers and he like stands up and the chair moves. And you're like, oh, how do we do this? We just like, let's put it on a blanket and our friend will lay on the ground and like,
pull it.
Slowly pull the blanket. And then when you go to sit down, you slowly pull the blanket as you sit down. And the practical effect was way cooler than making something fly across the room with like CGI or something, because it was kinetic and like you could just like, you can almost feel, oh, it's like, it's simple, it's subtle. When you notice it, you're like, oh, that's a nice little touch. And we kept it because it worked.
Yeah. And that's what inspired me about this documentary. So because of that, I think I'm going to go see the Academy Museum currently has an exhibit on Jaws. So I think I'm going to go see that.
All right, let's talk the Safdie brothers, or more so just one Safdie. Was it Benny that did? Yeah, Benny Safdie, the Smashing Machine.
Yes. So for everybody that's listening, if you have not, now's a good time to pause and go watch the movie and come back and listen to our thoughts on it, and then give us your thoughts on it. Go ahead, Charles, because I feel like you're going to say something.
No, I was just going to be like, yeah, let's jump into this after we're going to talk about sports. A huge tangent of
But that's the beauty of the human, emotion. You just happy accidents.
Conversation. We get to talk about what we want, and you will listen.
Podcast.
Yeah. Okay.
So yes, the Smashing Machine. So this is a A24. We've just been on an A24 tangent.
No, I can't. They're just they do originality and bangers. Like
Okay, no complaints. So A24's MMA biopic about Mark Kerr, played by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and this is Mark Kerr is one of the early fighters of the sport that we now follow. That's UFC, for those that do follow it. And so this is the early fights. They don't get paid a lot of money, but I guess you'd call them kind of like the pioneers. And this is his story. And what's interesting about this is Dwayne. I just got to keep saying The Rock because
The Rock,
yeah,
man.
he's
trying to rebrand, but like it's too late for us to know him as The Rock.
He's do you smell like? So this is The Rock's take as what you would call a quote unquote serious actor. He's known for doing a lot of comedies and blockbuster action movies, and he wanted to do something where he transformed a bit and kind of fell into the character, where you weren't just going, this is The Rock. It's gritty. It's got some realism. There's some fight sequences to it because obviously it's mixed martial arts, and there is a psychological aspect to it, as all biopics have.
So I was supposed to see this before we reviewed it, but life be life in y'all. So take me through the film. I love the Safdie brothers. Like I think Good Times, if you haven't seen it, is great. Uncut Gems. There's just a grittiness to their films that are also just the thing that we love about like films, just intrinsically like human, and where it's not always the bright, shiny, colorful version of people, but more so this raw, visceral expression of like the human experience that they do really well. So
okay, so I'll say this: I am a fan of biopics, so my opinion might be biased on it. I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was good. Again, it wasn't like jaw dropping for me. I wasn't like blown away by the story of it, but I did find the story to be interesting. In my opinion, kind of almost like documentary like, because there are moments where there's interviews and they're talking about their fight experience. I have to say, Emily Blunt, as always, she's great. She's awesome in it. Kudos to The Rock. I actually, his acting I thought was really good in this. Is the best way I could put it.
Are we talking Oscar worthy?
I could see it winning maybe a couple of awards simply because he did do the work to try to transform. You could still see some of The Rock bleeding out in there, but you could see that he did work at this. I don't know if it would be Oscar worthy by the fact that he did attempt it, but I don't know if it was like fully there yet. But I could see him, if he continues doing this, doing something that could win him an Oscar, because you could tell that he put in work on this. And watching that movie, the point that I wanted to touch on from earlier, it really made me go, I don't want to see AI characters. There is something about the human experience of seeing a person try to transform and be a different character that is inspirational and I think connects to the human soul,
Yeah, I've only seen the trailer and I look forward to seeing this movie. But what I do like to see is that The Rock does have range. And I think even without seeing this, I can see that he's trying to Matthew McConaughey it, which is like, let me break out of this box that people put me in as just like the funny action star and show that I really do have chops. I remember one of the earlier films I remember him in, still he was The Rock at the time, is like Be Cool, which is like a sequel of A Whole 9 Yards. And he's playing like this really silly bodyguard. And at that time, it showed that he had like comedic chops for real. I think a lot of the WWE is still acting. And Smashing Machine also reminds me of the transformation and the growth of Batista. Because like, again, another wrestler who I really loved him in the opening of Blade Runner 2049. Solid performance. So these guys are also inspiring because it's like shows that you really can, if you put in the work, break outside of these like boxes that people put you in. I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, that's what I love. And John Cena as well. Like him and Peacemaker, I think is doing some phenomenal work. Again, to me, I think that's the inspiration, is watching humans challenge themselves, whether they succeed or fail, at least attempt. And again, I think he did a pretty good job in this. He had he must have had a great director and a great co-star in Emily Blunt, because I didn't feel like he pulled me out of the movie for a majority of it. Again, there's moments where I'm like, I could see it's The Rock, and I could see it feels like sometimes, and this is just my opinion, I felt like there were some moments where it was like, oh, I think he forgot a line there. He's trying to work through it. And there's another fighter who's in there. I can't remember his name. I think Michael. Forgive me, I can't remember his name. But I could tell that it's almost him being in there made it feel kind of like the movie was slight movie, slight documentary, because he clearly didn't feel like an actor, like he was playing himself, but he was just being himself. So that kind of juxtaposition, I think, also helped me feel like, okay, The Rock has kind of like faded into this character, because I didn't see it was like The Rock talking to this guy who clearly is just being Mark Kerr's best friend. And forgive me if I'm wrong, I didn't actually do the research to see if that guy was actually an actor or not. He didn't come across that way.
Interesting. The aesthetically and like the way the movie both was shot and flowed in the pacing. I don't know if you've seen Good Times or Uncut Gems.
No, they're on my list to watch. I just have never watched them.
So would you say there a grittiness, rawness to both like the performances and the film itself?
Yes, and I don't know if, again, I didn't do enough research to know if it was shot on film, but it had that kind of gritty, like 70s,
grainy,
yeah, that kind of grainy. The fights looked like fights.
I guess also when I talk about gritty, it's not just like the actual filmic look, but there's something about the characters in the Safdie brothers films that are like gritty and grimy themselves.
Yes, there's an uncomfortability.
Yeah,
like Emily Blunt's character, there's kind of like this. I guess the best term is trailer parky, white trashy kind of thing. Just very like she's trying to be good, but you can kind of there's just like a layered onion of humanity there that's just not clean cut.
If you watch Uncut Gems, like Adam Sandler's character, to me, is one of the most interesting leads in a film, because from start to finish, to me, he's almost like this unsavory character with very little redeemable qualities the entire time. And they explore, this other part of humanity that does exist there. There's that duality.
Yeah, they didn't feel like characters.
Yeah.
They felt like people. Like there's some undercurrent.
That's what they do.
Yeah, of something they have. Mark Kerr, The Rock's character, having to deal with like his drug issues and things like that, and even the way he talked, you always felt like there just was something hidden or behind him, where it's just like, okay, you're playing for this, but you're not. There's something kind of a little off about you in certain areas, and then their arguments when they had it was just really like, that's why I said it felt like almost like a documentary more than like a glossy biopic.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. The trailer and the look of the film reminds me of The Wrestler.
Yeah. That kind of.
Yeah, it's definitely not like Creed or The Warrior. It's like polished.
No, it doesn't feel like an entertainment film. It feels like you just got dropped in and you're watching. You're watching somebody that you would meet on the street, and I don't want to spoil the ending for you.
I'm gonna watch it, but I want to like transition, and we'll just do a really flash on this because there's not much to talk about. But as we switch gears into TV,
I laugh because you say we'll do a flash, and I'm like, yeah, the inspiration was supposed to be a flash.
Yeah, but just Ted Lasso season 4. It's like sports TV right now is booming. Yeah. Like The Stick came out on Apple.
Yeah, Apple TV as well.
There's been tons of shows like All American. It's always been like this. Like
shout out to oh my gosh,
Mitch Edwards.
Mitch, yes,
yeah. And Ted Lasso. Ted Lasso was like Apple's. I feel like to me, Apple's first like really good one.
Yes, and that's when we started saying, oh, they know how to do comedy well. Yeah, that maybe their drama wasn't, but their comedy they hit this out of the park.
Show, the whatever it is, the it's not for me morning show.
Yes. Which our friend Joanna absolutely loves.
Oh yeah. But they dropped Ted Lasso, and man, talk about a wholesome, fun show that is supposed to be about football or soccer, but really it's just about perseverance and like just good vibes.
Yes. Yeah. It's, again, I'm shouting at everybody today. My buddy Chris Meyer is the one that put me on it because him and I are both, massive football, soccer. Dad, I'm calling it football, but I'm saying soccer for the Americans, football fans. And as you know, I'm a massive Arsenal supporter and he's a Man U supporter. And so we always tease back and forth. So when this show came out, he's like, oh, you should check it out. And I was like, because Apple shows haven't been hitting for me. But when I watched it, not only did I love the American fish out of water going, to London and trying to understand football, because I get a lot of the same questions. What's offsides? What's da-da-da-da? But the fact that the undercurrent of it was this story about love, basically, and humanity. And loss, yes. It really resonated with me because I was like, you took two things I love, the sport of football and the understanding of loss and love, even when it's not like he did something bad. He didn't. It was just something where he just had this overwhelming love and had to learn to let go. Same with the owner of the club, Rebecca. She had to let go. So for me, the whole thing was just such a beautiful look of humanity and what we could be if we didn't spend time focusing on things that divide us.
It was solid 3 seasons, and the 3rd season was supposed to be the finale.
Yeah.
And just the love for Ted in the show and the character was so. There might be, and it seems confirmed that they're coming back for season 4.
Yep.
Where now it seems like the log line and plot is that he's coming back to coach women's soccer.
Interesting. Okay. That would be fun because, women's soccer is popular, and at least for the Americans, that's the team that wins.
It's interesting. You get another, hopefully we get some more cameos of the football is live.
Yeah.
But we get a new cast of characters
to follow.
We get Rebecca back, but I know we both love Ted Lasso, and before we talk about my current favorite TV show that's on right now, I just wanted to shout out Ted Lasso.
Yeah, I think it came in a time where we talked, I think, in a recent podcast about love and the world needs a little bit more of it. And I think that's what it really, really resonates with people. I think people are searching for that kindness and humanity. So yeah, shout out to Ted. Believe.
Seriously. And as we talk about football, soccer, we're going to switch to proper football.
You mean the thing that you only use your foot on the ball one time in the game, or maybe twice if you have to punt? Kickoff and punting? Yeah, okay. No.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about the proper football.
The American rugby. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Just a truly sleeper show. I personally was not a huge Glenn Powell fan. He was like just okay. Like you can plug him in anything. He's like, okay.
He's good, but there was nothing that like made me go, I'm going to go watch a Glenn Powell movie. Like,
no, for me, and like no shade to Glenn Powell, especially what I'm going to say next. I saw the show Chad Powers on Hulu, and it's about football. And at first, it's NFL. I'm a huge football fan myself. I see a football show. I'm going to check out a football show. And I'm so happy I did because like the show has Ted Lasso vibes and the wholesome story they're trying to tell with the main character's arc of being this asshole and like learning his lessons. But it's Mrs. Doubtfire meets football. Like this guy who messed up his chances sees a second chance to put on prosthetics and go back to college and like get a redo. The show has no business being this funny.
So shout out to you because you're the one that recommended this show to me, because the same thing. I was like, I don't know if it's something I want to watch. Again, Glenn Powell is not an actor that I go, oh, I want to watch his show. If he's in a movie, kind of like how he's been in like a Twister remake or the upcoming Running Man, I like those concepts. So I'll go watch it because of the concept. But it's not like, oh, Glenn Powell, I want to go see this. So when I turned this on, I was like, yeah, sure. Let me watch this. And I have to say, from an actor perspective, I apologize, Glenn Powell. Kudos to you, man, because the switch that you do in this thing, brilliant, man. Genius. Like, I absolutely love the work that you're doing.
And I need to know if some of these, so his name is like Robbie something when he is the guy who like failed in college and did the big mess up. And he goes back to college, years later as Chad Powers. And he's like pretending to be this like West Virginia Southern simpleton. But the voice he does and the lines he's like, I want to know if he's like ad-libbing some of these lines
I feel like he has to be.
because like some of them are just so
Golden.
Yeah.
Golden. It reminds me of the comedy too, that people were worried that, the jokes they could make, but he does it in such a way that you just are like, oh yeah, that fits right there.
Like the word trigger warning, they use this in the show, but like there's like they use the word retard
Yeah.
in a way that's not derogatory. It ends up just being funny.
Yeah.
If it's sensitive to you, don't watch it. But in this context of the show, it's actually really funny. And they dance that line very well.
I guess that's probably a warning to everybody. When I say like comedy like of the past, they skirt the lines with toxic masculinity jokes. They skirt the lines with, like you said, the retard thing. They skirt the lines, but they do it in such a tasteful and tactful way. You can't help but laugh because it's almost like you're in on the joke. They're making fun of the fact of this particular, these characters of people. Like the assistant coach, his character, the things that he says all the time.
So the assistant coach, talk about a redemption arc himself, is the actor that got fired for Lethal Weapon because his head got too big, and they replaced him with Sean William Scott.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
the one that always talks crap to Chad Powers and all of that.
Yeah, he was the Mel Gibson character in the Lethal Weapon TV show.
Wow.
And I think after season 2, there was some like onset mishaps.
Right. Yeah. So I remember
really
hearing about
ego.
All that. Yeah. Yeah.
And they replaced him with Sean William Scott. And I was like, dude, he looks familiar because I really enjoyed him in that character.
Yeah.
So,
oh, well,
redemption arc as an actor and a person himself.
As a fellow human being, shout out to you, man. Like, welcome back. Like, I'm happy you're getting that redemption arc because that's awesome.
Chad Powers comes out on Tuesday, so there's a new episode out tonight.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
And it's my new Tuesday show because like every episode so far has not let me down with some sort of laugh.
Yeah, comedically, it is gold. The Peyton Manning or the Eli Manning?
So Omaha Productions, it's both Mannings. Dude, they have comedic chops. Eli Manning, by the way, has one of the funniest SNL episodes that he hosts. Who knew this guy had like the comedic chops that he does? and talk about that, they also dropped Undercover with Justin Jefferson on Amazon, where the star wide receiver on the Minnesota Vikings, Justin Jefferson, goes undercover as a bird photographer who is hired to help out the team, and he puts on prosthetics. And
interesting.
And I think this man might have an acting career himself because the body work that he does to be this like nerdy bird photographer. And he's like, did you know the Minnesota bird is like the common loon? And even the GM for the Minnesota Vikings, like he does a whole headshot session with him, and he doesn't realize until the end. He was like, I thought it looked like you. And then he goes to a flag football thing with a bunch of like kids and adult flag football, and he's just taking photos, and then he's like, can I play? And he's like cutting them up. It's wholesome. It's funny.
Yeah.
The Mannings.
I think like what you're saying there about Chad Powers, because they have that reference in there. It's a Mrs. Doubtfire meets football. It has that wholesomeness to it. The jokes are hilarious. The jokes are funny. Yes, they do skirt the line, but I think you'll find it entertaining. But there is also some character work that happens emotionally with some of these characters. I, for one, am a big fan of the daughter. She's just cute. Like she's her character, her facial expressions and the way that she delivers like her character just makes me laugh because it's so awkward and funny, especially her reactions to Chad.
I didn't even think about. Yeah, she's an attractive actress like most of us averages. And really impressed just by also her comedic timing.
Yes.
And she's actually the wife of an NFL quarterback, Mark Sanchez, who went through his own stabbing thing. But just really, really kudos to her as an actress. Because
it's so cute.
She's really selling this Nepo baby, but like I'm really good at what I do, and like I don't want to coast on my dad's name.
Yes, the Nepo baby that doesn't want to be a Nepo baby.
Yeah, and like, look, I've had a couple coworkers who are Nepo babies. Some of them think about changing their last names because like it can be really tough because people just think about your parents, and like you don't really get a chance while simultaneously getting chances. But
but they feel like you didn't earn the chance, so then you're trying to prove that you earned this chance, even though your name is it. Again,
the effort you do is always tainted by your parents. So like, I get it, and she sells it really,
really well.
Also, let's not forget the hilarity of the mascot who's helping Chad Powers with this whole cover up. Gold himself.
Brilliant.
I think he's a child actor. My fiance was watching, and she was like, "Is that the like kid?" And I was like, "I had no idea because kids grow up." And,
yeah. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I had no idea where I'd ever seen him before, but he is brilliant. He is the character that recognizes who Chad Powers really is. I can't remember the name of the college quarterback who shamed, basically. He's shamed so badly, and his college career is basically over, that he's even a Halloween costume. But this mascot recognizes him and decides to help him pursue this fake character to give him a second chance, redemption, second chance at a college career. And it's so very interesting because he is just hilarious. And especially because this is a made up character. But the golden point is anything that Chad says has to become canon. He has to back it up. So when he thinks on the fly, this kid is the mascot is basically helping him try to keep it together. And it's just
also their relationship is toxic in itself, and they're going through their own journey and arcs and figuring out what their relationship is. It's just good. Tidbit for you, the black, I think either assistant coach or defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Listen to his voice. Dude, it sounds like Ikenna. Like
really?
Jennifer and I sit on the couch. The very first episode, I was like, dude, Ikenna could have played this role.
Okay.
He sounds like Ikenna. Ikenna also like played football.
Yeah.
I was like, holy crap. Then now we can't unhear it. So anytime he's on the screen, all I hear is Ikenna.
I'm going to have to listen for it now.
Shout out to Ikenna.
Did you find out the name of the?
He was in High School Musical. His name was like Frankie Rodriguez. Did a couple episodes in like Modern Family.
Got it. Okay. I have seen him before now that you mentioned that. Yeah.
But she has a good eye for that. She was like, oh yeah, I didn't see it. So just if you have time, there's so much to watch. But if you enjoy comedies, you enjoy sports, you will not be disappointed by Chad Powers.
No.
It is the stupid comedy almost of the early thousands.
Yes.
With the quality like character development and storytelling that we've known to love in television today. So it's a great middle ground.
Yeah. With a sprinkle of Ted Lasso in there. So if you're waiting for Ted Lasso, this is a nice in between.
Yeah, and I look forward to kind of what Omaha Productions is going to put out now, because like it's definitely one to watch for me, because I've loved both things recently. As switching over, so we've had like a more serious, grounded sports thing. We've had comedy television. Let's just start talking about some of your picks for like not the greatest, but the greatest to you. How about that? Because the great is always going to be
relative.
Who's the greatest quarterback? Tom Brady. Actually, there's no discussion there. But Jordan or LeBron, Babe Ruth or what's his name? Yeah. Any other sport, Gretzky. You can debate every sport except for the greatest quarterback. That's not baseball.
As you can tell, Charles is a Patriot fan. But yes, Tom Brady. Tom Brady is great.
Just the new head coach of football kind of feels like Ted Lasso meets Bill Belichick had a baby and Mike Vrabel is back and the Patriots are 5-2, and I feel like I believe.
Okay, you still have Josh Allen and you still have Chiefs boy Mahomes.
Oh, dude, he's on fire this year too. I can't even. I want to hate, but like Mahomes is a dark magician.
Yes,
maybe it comes from his. Never mind. I'll just go. Don't get controversial.
But don't forget Josh Allen. The Bills up there.
Yeah, he married Haley Stanfield, and she was like trying to like be cute on social media. Like the Patriots are Josh Allen's son, and then they got smacked. So Haley can take your sinner's butt back to the south.
Don't hate. All right. Josh Allen gives me some trouble sometimes in Madden, so that's all I'm going to say. But as far as for me, Cool Runnings for sure. That was, my parents were from the Caribbean. That was very inspirational. Some of the lines in there, I have pride, I have power, I don't take no,
Yeah, in the current like climate, I think Cool Runnings, like some people have like tried to give it some smoke about like, wait, just let Cool Runnings be Cool Runnings. Like, man, at the time, like you didn't get it.
Cool smoke. Man, get your behind out of here. Go touch some grass. Have some fun. Let's see. So that's a good one comedy wise.
Yeah.
I think like that's great comedy wise. I have not seen, I know you asked about it. I have not seen him, nor will I. But on a football, American football, Any Given Sunday. Any Given Sunday, I really liked. I saw that a long time ago, but there was something about the intensity on that that I like.
Just fun fact about Any Given Sunday. I worked with a guy over my last company who, interesting, this guy makes video games and you're like, oh, that's already a cool thing. Double cool thing, he was a Miami Dolphin. So not only did he make it to like elite athlete and get drafted to the Miami Dolphins, after his career in the NFL, you get hurt, things move and happen. He ends up making video games. And I was like, man, two truths and a lie. You win every time. But I asked him like, hey, out of all the football movies, what's the most like accurate? It's like, he was like, Any Given Sunday. Any Given Sunday is the, because it's just a business. It's grimy.
Right.
They don't really care about you as much as you. And he was like,
your product. Yeah.
So Any Given Sunday is also one of my favorite football movies. So
nice. Sticking with football, I will have to say, for like the kid kind of emotional thing, Remember the Titans.
Sunshine. Yeah.
Remember the Titans. I know Rudy is a big one for people, not for me really. Remember the Titans.
Rudy's slow. It is good, but like Remember the Titans, it's definitely way more quotable too. Remember the Titans. Like,
yeah.
So you think football is fun? No, sir. Yes. Is it fun or not fun? Yeah. No, sir.
My man.
Yeah.
I like that. And then the movie, not so much, but I used to, I would call it like my soap, Friday Night Lights, being from Texas.
Oh, the TV show.
The TV show. Being from the South, I used to get a pint of cookies and cream, and I used to watch that show and eat ice cream. Like that was like my eat ice cream show too. Love that. And I love the soundtrack in Friday Night Lights.
So I watched Friday Nights, the movie. Never watched the TV show.
Ah, okay.
But if it's a football movie, Varsity Blues, The Replacement Players, Longest.
Yeah.
If it's
all of those are good.
Movie,
you're in.
Little Giants.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't put Little Giants on my list, but just let me just go ahead and throw Little Giants.
Yeah, Little Giants is a good one. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Annexation of Puerto Rico, like Little Giants is up there.
Funny enough, I don't think I've watched any football, soccer.
Like Beckham?
No, never really watched that.
Dude, there's if you want to watch I
know Hooligans is supposed to be one that's supposed to be good.
Green Street Hooligans? Green Street Hooligans is my younger brother and I. It's up there. I feel like it's a more fighting movie than it is. It's about soccer, but absolutely love Green Street Hooligans. Very again, fish out of water, goes to England, joins a what do you call like a football club? They do the tailgating.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Interesting. Okay. What about the one that Bradley Cooper was in? That one wasn't really a football movie. That just happened to have the Eagles in the background, right?
I don't know which one you're.
I can't think of the name of it right now. Yeah, that one's different though.
Staying on soccer, if you have a chance, check out the Beautiful Game. It's based off of a true story too. It's the Homeless World Cup. They get homeless people around the world and like give them a chance to like play football and travel. And this, failed English soccer player who is like made it to Arsenal and then had his downfall, gets like picked up off the street to play in this tournament. And the guy that puts it together is one of the people who scouted him back in high school. It's actually like an emotional journey. It's not the greatest movie, but it's on Netflix. It's a really fun watch. And it's, after watching it, I had to Google it. Is this a real thing? And it is. It's called the Homeless World Cup, and they give homeless people around the world, transients, a chance to like play football and travel.
I didn't know that. That's a massive football fan.
Yeah.
Shocked.
So put it on your list.
Yeah. Basketball. Since we're just going around sports, basketball. Do you have any basketball movies that you think?
Mine are like the less fun ones. Well, like I watched early, and at the time I watched them, some of them were like, should I be watching this? Like, of course, as a little like perverted 13-year-old like kid, you're like, there's boobies in this movie. But going and rewatching it, the emotional journey of it, He Got Game, Spike Lee with Denzel Washington, Ray Allen.
Yeah.
Basketball movie, Above the Rim, White Man Can't Jump. The White Man Can't Jump remake with Jack Harlow.
Yeah.
Solid. And the dude has comedic chops.
Okay, I have to add that to my list.
I didn't want to support it. And I was like,
right,
another remake.
Right, remake. That's was my thing.
It was good, man.
Okay, I'll add it to my list then. I'll see what it is.
So Coach Carter.
Yeah, that's a classic. I mean, like the great meme at the end, with it's like so and so did so and so with that Faith Evans music that everyone now does. How black movies ended in the 90s. Yeah.
Of course, I think that like now we're just listing like the greats. Like both Rockies and Creeds were good, even though for me they're like not at the top of my personal fight. I really enjoyed in terms of like fighting movies. Warrior, Tom Hardy, the two brothers, and like do the emotional journey of that movie and the brothers being at odds with each other because like sibling rivalries is such a real thing. And some of the knockout scenes were like so gritty. I will say, was it the last Creed is just a boxing anime, and shout out to Michael B. Jordan. I know you're a big anime fan.
Yeah.
Like, what's up? I got a list of animes. I'm pretty sure this will never make it to your ears, but if it does, holler at me because the adaptations are delightful.
Yeah, massive anime fan over here. So like that, I haven't watched that last one, but now I might because you said that.
Hajime no Ito, and then one of the scenes between Michael B. Jordan and Jonathan Majors, I felt like was just a shot by shot remake of the Naruto scene between Sasuke and Naruto. They punch each other at the same time.
Nice.
They pulled it like straight from Naruto.
Oh, nice. Okay. I'll check it out.
Really, let me give you some of my tops, right? Because right now we're just naming great movies, but sports movies I always enjoyed that also don't get love because football, basketball, and baseball tends to like rule supreme in terms of like American sports. Bring It On. It's just cheerleading. But see, you laugh because you've seen it. Yep. It's a sport. It's good. It's competitive. Yeah. Stick It, which was about gymnastics, was actually really fun. Hockey doesn't get enough time. Sean William Scott's in a movie called Goon, which is about
yeah. Good.
Solid up there. Eastbound and Down for a TV show. Less about the baseball, but just stupid. Fantasy Football Lover, The League. I rewatch every couple of years.
Okay, I don't think I've seen The League.
They have NFL cameos. It's fantasy football. The whole thing. Again, some of it is just really dumb humor and definitely of a time. Ballers. Shout out to The Rock coming back full circle.
Yeah. Because Denzel,
the Washington Suns,
David, right?
So those are just some of my personal like top picks, and then I'm gonna do something that wasn't on our list. I'm going off script here, so you're gonna appreciate this because it doesn't get love. It's not in TV. It's not in film. But let's do this really quick. You ready?
Yeah. Hit me.
Blue Lock.
Yes.
Yuri on Ice.
Yeah.
Swim. You have Hajime no Ito, the boxing one.
Right.
Why am I thinking about The Sixth Man? What's that? Kiriko's basketball.
The basketball. Yeah.
I know people really love what's the volleyball one that I can't get into.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I know which one you're talking about. I never watched that one, but the other ones that you've mentioned.
So essentially, y'all, sports animes.
Yeah, fire. All of them.
I think they released was it called Grand Slam, the movie, the basketball movie, in theaters, which did well. So if you haven't started watching sports animes or anime at all,
get on it.
You're missing some top quality stuff there.
All right. Well, man, that was good. That was fun. A fun trip down the old sports lane there, the sports Hall of Fame, I guess, at least for us. Yeah,
Sorry, I just the pause of living in great like anime sports. But like hit us as we start posting more and hitting the socials. Drop us some of your favorites. We can't include all the great sports hits, but hit us with your favorites. What do you love about them? What is it? The struggle? Is it the story? Is it the sport itself? And what's your personal goated movie, TV show, or sports anime? Since I like to throw in a wild third.
Goated, huh?
The greatest of all time.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to think if I have.
Greatest of all time.
That's tough. I don't think I have.
Okay, the greatest baseball movie of all time is Hardball for me because the emotional impact. And then when Baby G dies, you're like, oh no.
You don't like a little angels in the outfield there, or a little Field of Dreams.
No.
Wait, look at the chip. This is pretty good. There's no crying in baseball.
You know how I feel about crying, so there's no crying at all.
And with that, you can follow us on IG at Open Q Productions. You can follow me personally at Shaka Omari on IG, SHAKA OMARI.
And Shaka's going to tell you again to follow me at Good Belly on the Belly app, which have been active lately, but I did try a bunch of new restaurants. So
Nice, nice. Do you have any like sports related, good dive bars or hot dogs or wings or anything like that people should visit?
New wing spot actually in West Adams on Jefferson across from Highly Likely. There's a new like high scale food court thing. It's called I think it's called Maleficent Wings.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I had their like dry rub wings were actually really good. Their barbecue was good, even though some not barbecue buffalo, but sometimes when you toss the sauce, the skin gets a little soft.
Yeah.
But the flavor was good. The only thing I wouldn't get again is they had this like Crying Tiger, which is like a Thai sauce that I like Crying Tiger, but the way they did it had too much fish sauce, which wasn't for me.
Got it.
Dry rub and buffalo, solid.
Okay. All right. Well, you heard it here first. So we will catch you next time
On the queue.
The Open Queue is an Open Queue production. If you like the show, be sure to follow, rate, and review it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcast app. And tell your friends and family to do the same. Also, feel free to share a link to someone who you think might really enjoy this conversation. The music you're listening to is called Dawn 2 from the movie The Smashing Machine by Nala Sinefro. Until next time, see you in the queue.